Welcome back to the program. Just want to let you know, for a programming note, we are going to have Assistant District Attorney of Lafourche Parish, Thad Toops, on, and we'll be discussing with him some of the duties that he has at the Lafourche Parish District Attorney's Office. And more importantly, I'm going to point out that he was recently, if you watched the program last night, he received a national award for the work that he does with the Lafourche Parish District Attorney's Drug Court. Of course, it's Cam Movant's program over there, and Thad Toops is kind of the one that has been involved with it for many, many years, and he received a national award, which I certainly think merits some discussion here on Bayou Time. So we're going to be doing that probably in the next 20 minutes or so. All right, let's go to the phone lines. Thank you for calling. Welcome to Bayou Time.
Hello, Jimmy.
Hey, how are you doing?
How you doing tonight?
Okay, fine, thank you.
You are spoiling that grandchild, huh?
Always.
Boy, that's a heinous thing that happened in Thibodeau, huh?
Oh, yeah, it's very heinous. You're right.
That's sad, man. I don't know what to say about that. I mean, that man, he ought to be punished, but, I mean, if I'd punish him, I wouldn't want to torture him. I'd let the law do what they got to do, but they need to do it swift, Jimmy.
Well, you know, that's the problem with the system. I mean, you know, and we have a lot of problems with our justice system. Don't get me wrong, but we're still the best justice system in the world. But one of those problems is the endless or the seemingly endless appeals.
Right.
And you know, after somebody is found guilty, how they can keep coming back for post-conviction relief.
Right. I understand that.
Yeah, and that is a problem.
The thing is this. You know, this is beyond a reasonable doubt.
Right.
If he has no mental disabilities, this is beyond a reason. You know, they say Sharia law.
Yeah.
That's one case I would agree with Sharia law.
Okay.
And in Saudi Arabia, you get caught stealing, they cut your hands. You do something like that over there, you dead.
Right.
You'll never see the sun come up the next morning. But the deal is beyond a reasonable doubt. You know this happened.
Well, it happened. There's no question. You know, and I think reportedly there was a confession. We just have to, you know, everybody, the court system will have to make sure everything, his constitutional rights were protected.
And once they,
well, you're right, and I agree with you. It takes too long.
Look, Derek Tali's still sitting in jail.
Yeah.
And this other man from across the lake in Slidell threw a 2-year-old against the wall and cracked her little skull yesterday.
Yeah.
Terrible. You know what this goes down to, Jimmy? It's morals. These young people are having kids. They're not married. They're having kids like rabbits. They don't want the kids after they have them.
Yeah.
I mean, if a woman's going to lay down with a man, she ought to see his qualities.
Right.
Instead of laying down like dogs.
Well, you know, that's an idealistic view, and I understand that view. And, you know, I would agree personally that's something that you would want to try to instill. But, you know, people are going to be people. Even if you make those mistakes, which a lot of people do, it still doesn't justify, in my opinion, and I'm sure yours as well, that, you know, you go to this next step, which I just can't think of that next step. It's just unthinkable to me.
Yeah, I mean, that's no way. I can't do that to animals, Jimmy. I hate to kill an animal.
Hey, I'm with you. I hear you.
You know, much less cut up a human being like that, a baby.
Yeah.
Like this boy from across, and the one in Homer not too long ago killed that kid.
Yeah. No, I agree with you.
These people, there's no more morals in this younger generation, it looks like. A lot of them.
Yeah, because you know, I got to tell you, I'm very proud of a lot of young people that I see. But you're right, there are some. But that's not only that generation. I mean, we had wackadoos and we had you know, violent criminals in our generation.
Right.
We hear more about it now, but so I don't think it's
about it now because the generation is getting worse and worse.
Well,
that's what it is.
Well, it might be.
I know. I'm. You know how old I am. I'm your age.
Okay.
And
well, that's young.
We hear about that when we was coming up. That was a big thing, man.
Okay.
now you hear about it every day almost.
I understand what you're saying. Let me get some opinions from other people, but thank you so much for sharing that.
All right, Jimmy, and look, I feel sorry for the parents, and the grandmother and all them.
Oh, yeah, really.
And my prayers are with them.
Well, thank you for that. I appreciate that as well, and I'm sure they do as well. And, it's just a terrible situation to have to imagine someone having to go through that. Thanks for calling. Welcome to Bayou Time. Hello, you there?
Hello.
Hey, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you doing today?
Thank you. Go ahead.
The reason I'm calling, I want to give my condolences to the family that lost their loved one.
Okay.
But also, it's not the age of the victim. Regardless to what the age is, it's still a painful situation that that family is in. We lost a loved one in June, and the person was murdered. And we're still, it's a shock.
Right.
So that family, regardless to what age, that family is hurting. And I think the court needs to stop letting these people go into court and plead insanity. You're not that crazy that you're going to take somebody else's life, but then you can get in court and you can laugh and you can smile and get away with it.
Right.
That needs to be thrown off the book when it comes to that. And I agree with one of the callers when they say if they want to kill someone, send them off to war. And those people that's in war that don't want to be there, but they're there because of college and different situations, let them come on home and let these people that want to fight and kill up each other, let them go over there and fight.
I understand.
And thank you.
Okay, thank you for sharing that opinion. We really appreciate the call and understand those opinions that were expressed. Thanks for calling and welcome to the program.
Hi, Jimmy.
Hey.
Hey, I live in Thibodeau, right around the corner from where that happened.
Okay.
And I don't know this family, but I've seen the boy being put on the bus and taken off the bus after school, and it's a very shocking thing. And one thing that people have not noticed, that in this age of social networking and the internet, where we're all supposedly so closely connected, no, we're not. Physically, we have become disconnected. We don't know our neighbors like we used to. There was a time where, yeah, you had nosy neighbors, but you could bet that if something happened around your house, someone saw it or heard it and would come forward and say something. We need to get back to knowing each other and appreciating and looking out for each other. Violence is not going to solve anything, and we've become a society of violence, and that's why our children are as violent as they are. We need to be reteaching them that violence doesn't solve a problem. You need to sit down and learn how to work it out and get along together. And that's the only thing that's going to happen. That's going to help any of this. Yeah, we can put this guy to death or put him on a death row for the rest of his life, but it doesn't seem to make sense to support someone who's capable of this. I'm not advocating the death penalty or against the death penalty, but we need to start studying these people. And I'm sorry if it means that they have to leave this world so we can take their brain out and try and figure out what went wrong, then that's something that may have to happen. But we've got to all reconnect. And it's not necessarily a matter of neighborhood watch, which is a great thing, but everybody needs to get out and get more connected with the people around them. Be more involved in other people's lives. This thing about, okay, leave me alone, don't be involved in. If we were more connected and more involved and knew the people around us more, maybe we could try and predict something like this or prevent something like this from happening.
Okay.
And teaching our kids to learn to get along and work things out better.
I think everybody could benefit from, doing just a little bit more. And I understand.
Right.
I understand exactly what you're saying.
Yeah. And this thing about the children being called rats, if they report something that is happening, that needs to come to an end too.
Yeah.
I mean, they need to bring back officer friendly. And I love what the chief of police in Thibodeau is doing. From what I can tell, he's fantastic. But we need to bring more of that back in and make it an okay thing to say, okay, this went wrong and we need to find a way to fix it.
Sounds good. Thank you very much. I very much appreciate those comments. And I understand exactly, we all tend to, and not that it's anybody out there's fault, but we all tend to get into our routine of doing this and doing that. And, sometimes it may be good to just step back and, spend some time with the neighbor saying hello a little bit, just a nice, polite conversation. And, you know, just get a little more involved with your community and what's going on. I think that's a good thing. Nobody can be harmed from that. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm being told that we need to take a break, so before we get to the phone lines, we'll be right back.